is now semi-retired. Nowadays, he is focusing more on content creation in the platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook to help you with your business processes and digital transformation. Let us all welcome Mr. Dennis and Hilario.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for, having me here. I'm so excited to, be here and discuss about my knowledge and expertise about ERP, and business process in general. I also would like to acknowledge our professor, si Mr. Manuel. Thank you again for, having me here. So I'll just go straight to the presentation. If I can just share my screen. Start with, of course, the general topic is the introduction of ERP. But before that, I'd like to share a quote from Tim Ferriss. Maybe some of you know him, the author of 4-Hour Work Week. So he said that efficiency is doing things right, but effectiveness is doing the right things. So that leads to sharing with you my mission, which is basically I am committed for the rest of my life, even though it entails a lot of hard work, is to unlock as many small businesses as I can to help business owners transform their business digitally to promote efficiency and business growth. So this message is for the business owners that I'm motivating them to be the leader of their market niche through business digitalization and automation. Okay, so I just dive straight to ERP. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. The purpose of that is basically to integrate the core business processes in real time. Kasi as the company grows and scales, it's really difficult, to do collaboration and exchange information between the different or across various departments. So the key functions are data centralization. So centralize yung data of the entire company. Kasi pag decentralized, there are a lot of issues and pain points that I can discuss later. Second key function is process automation, and that will promote business controls, and again, like I said, improve collaboration and data analytics for informed decision making. So very brief history. Back in the 1960s, ang tawag natin doon is inventory management and control. At that time, hindi pa ginagamit yung term na ERP. Actually, up to this day, we still, use the name or the term inventory management, but it's only one module in the ERP. By the 1970s, because of the, industrial thing that's happening at that time, nag-emerge ngayon yung tinatawag na material requirements planning. These are mostly for manufacturing companies. Kaya siya material requirement is that ano ba yung mga raw materials that a manufacturing company need for them, to produce something. Which is basically products or finished goods. So ang tawag natin sa ERP before is MRP. By the 90s, nagkaroon na ng evolution, nagkaroon na ng other modules, which again, we're gonna talk about later. So from inventory, nagkaroon ng, on top of that, material requirements, procurement, accounting, HRIS, or human resource, CRM, yung na-mention natin kanina, and a lot more modules within the ERP. So current trends now, on top of the current ERP in the market, would be, as you know, yung AI, yung artificial, integration of artificial intelligence and IoT applications. So Internet of Things integrations. So I think no, hindi natatapos diyan yung growth ng ERP industry. So on a year basis, there's a lot of new technologies and cutting edge technologies na nai-introduce uh, yearly globally. A part of it, as you know, alam niyo naman yung GPT or OpenAI na marami ring mga applications na nag-ini-integrate sa mga current solutions na meron sa market. Yeah. Alright, so let's talk about ano ba yung mga common business pain points. If you are running a business, whether it's a small business, medium size, or especially the large scale businesses, ito yung mga pain points nila na nabanggit ko na kanina is decentralized or disconnected systems. So ang effect niyan is leading to inconsistent information. For example, yung sales department, nag-book siya ng sales niya. For example, if wala kang ERP, usually ang ginagamit natin is Google Spreadsheet, Google Sheet, or Microsoft Excel. So pag nag-record si sales department ng sales doon, of course, yung fulfillment or operations, hindi nila makikita yan until i-communicate niya ni sales manually to the operations. So pretty much disconnected siya. So another example is that yes, you are a team of 10 salespeople, and each one of them may kanya-kanyang database of their customers or leads. So, ang problem doon is nagkakaroon ng redundancy or duplicate customers because it's decentralized and disconnected. Second is manual processing. So, of course, this is very time-consuming, especially in business. There's what you call process documentation. So, every time nakabenta tayo, we document them through a form of, say, sales invoice. If you collect payment, you have to document it by preparing a collection receipt, or yung tawag natin before, official receipt. So imagine if it's written or handwritten manually, it's very time consuming bukod sa masakit sa kamay. At the same time, error prone siya because if you're doing it manually, there are no validations. Konting mali ka lang ng date or nagkulang ka ng 0, since walang validation, tatanggapin lang siya accordingly. Okay. So next is another pain point is that most business owners or the presidents and CEOs, the management, is they are having a hard time in terms of deciding on something because they cannot see the information. One information, for example, is how much is my expenses for the past 3 months. How much is the salary? How much is the rental expenses and whatnot? If I don't have an accurate and on-time information, then there's a lot of profit leaks. Ibig sabihin nun, pag nakita natin na ang taas pala ng cost ko, ng business ko, and nakita ko siya after a month or so, it's already too late. Meaning it's been a very expensive month because hindi ko siya na-actionan agad. As opposed to, if you have like a real-time data, right there and then, once you see that there's issues in operations, then you can do informed decision. Next is inventory management. So these are applicable to products or goods business. Because if you are overstocking, for example, meaning napasobra yung, kunyari, one example is you are selling sneakers or shoes. If you anticipate, for example, na based on your emotions lang or gut feel, na mabenta tong certain model of sapatos. So ang tendency natin is mag-i-stock tayo ng maraming sapatos, no? But in the end, wala namang bumili. Or may bumili man, is that, it's way under your forecast. So for example, meron kang bumili ka ng 100 units of sapatos, ang nabenta lang is 30, then over ka ng 70, no? So it's a very tinatawag na expensive holding cost of inventory. Sabihin, natutulog yung pera natin, ano. On the other hand, in contrast, if nag-understock ka naman, ibig sabihin marami kang lost sale, and it's also costly for us. Sayang, nakabenta ka na sana, but wala kang stock, no? So pain point yon, because if you are not automating these processes, it's difficult to really know how much lang ba talaga yung inventory that I need, you know? So that's again one pain point of business owners, no? And then last but not the least is poor service due to delays in order processing or communication. Since you're doing it manually, especially kung volume ang orders natin or volume ang pinaprocess natin transactions, then if it's manual, obviously there's gonna be delays in order processing. I don't know if you recall, sometime probably about 7-8 years ago, nagkaroon ng problema sa stock ng Chicken Joy, no? Because nagpalit sila ng ERP. I remember that time, laging walang stock, or if not, ang tagal ng order mo ng chicken because it's very limited, no? So dahil nagpalit sila ng system, in a way, nag-down yung ERP nila. So nahirapan sila mag-deliver, no? So again, those are common pain points of business owners that the ERP is trying to solve. All right. Okay, just to give you an idea, if you dive deeper in the processes of typical business, no? So ito yon. So ang daming mga nangyayaring communication, ano? From nabanggit kanina din dun sa icebreaker natin, may purchase order, tapos si vendor marireceive niya yung purchase order, and then the vendor will deliver the goods, the order, and then they have to prepare the delivery receipt, and then the invoice, and then the business is going to receive that, prepare siya ng purchase book, prepare siya ng ledger of your payable, and then prepare siya ng payment that will now, yun yung check payment or the fund transfer. And now you have to also update your cash book, and then update your check voucher, and yun yung basically process ng procurement to payment, no? So while on the other hand, dun sa sales naman, is you receive the customer PO, you process the sales order, you now update the sales book, the receivable ledger, and so on and so forth, ano? So these things, imagine that if you're using it or doing it manually, it's gonna be like a lot of errors sa pag-capture ng transaction, miscommunications, hindi mabasa yung sulat kasi manual, etc. No? So, yun yung typical process na ina-adapt ng ERP system para ma-automate, well, ideally 100% all of this, pero there's no such thing, I'm telling you now. Pa rin, at least major percentage is ma-automate dito. One example is printing of these documents, no? You can automate that. Instead of manually updating the cash book, once you prepare the check voucher, then automatically the system will update the cash book, the ERP system will update the inventory, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now the ones I showed you guys are a typical back office, no? or a trading or distribution company. So it also varies depending on the industry. For example, for retail or restaurants, meron tayong POS. You can actually consider that as part of the ERP system or one module in the ERP. And then you also have your e-commerce website, no? For example, meron kang store sa Lazada and Shopee, no? So it's actually part of the whole business process. And yung ino-automate natin doon is capturing the sales. So every time you punch an order sa POS, there should be an update in your sales book. If you capture sales in your website or in Shopee, Lazada, TikTok Shop, ideally you also capture it and then update your system, no? So, on the other hand, hospitality naman, like hotels, resorts, another business process na naman yan, ano? Meron tayong booking system for your front desk, customer book and pay, and then you have folio or service invoice naman, and then again capturing of sales every time the customer checks out, no? For a service business naman, a separate, iba na naman yung process, no? Instead of a PO, meron tayo tinatawag na service agreement. So pag na-deliver mo yung service, for example, repairs or a project or whatnot, may tinatawag na acceptance report, ano? So there's another documentation. And then pag okay na yan, then you have to issue a billing or invoice, and then the customer pays, and then you again update the different books and records in your company, no? Then hindi ko pala nabanggit kanina, is part of it also is government compliance, no? Kasi there are certain reports or forms that you need to implement to comply, especially with the Bureau of Internal Revenue or the BIR for tax purposes. Okay, so another one, manufacturing. Actually, I think manufacturing has the most complicated process, no? It varies pa depending on the item na mina-manufacture. For example, imagine if you are manufacturing you're manufacturing vehicles, no? Napakadaming parts, napakadaming assembly lines. So napaka-complicated nung business processes nun, no? So this one is just a typical example na meron kang WIP, material issuance slip, production reports, and then ang ultimate outcome nun is you deliver that product that you produce to your customer, and then again update all the books and ledgers and accounting reports and whatnot, ano. So again, this is just a simplified version. But if you're gonna dive deeper here, it's just a lot more complex business processes, no? Wait one. Okay, so I'll just, I think some of items here I already have iterated kanina, mentioned, no? But basically, benefits of implementing ERP against the pain points that we mentioned earlier is that we streamline those processes, pretty much the operations, and access to data real time, no? Kasi ang promise ng ERP is that once you encode a particular transaction or data, it comes out as a report real time. Then again, since meron kang report real time, now how to navigate or steer your business, and that will make you very efficient, no? And then at the same time, you can reduce costs because there's a lot of redundancy, errors na we mitigate because of the automation. Then again, we enhance our reporting because all departments, alam na natin what's happening, how much is your sales, how much is your profit, do we need to add employees, Do we need to add branches and so on and so forth? So those information, we can now decide, you know, more informed yung marami kang variables na nakikita as opposed dun sa based on gut feel lang or emotions. And then nabanggit ko kanina in passing is also compliance with the BIR. Di lang pala yun, but also with other government agencies like SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, LGU, City Hall, and DTI SEC. So those things are also being considered in an ERP system. Alright, so okay, just to iterate, kanina ang dami nating pinakita, but pretty much these are the typical modules of an ERP system. So we have the financial management, which is basically setting the budget of the business or the company. Proper accounting, which is pretty much capturing and recording transactions. Cash flow naman is the in and out of your money. Can be from cash in bank, can be from stock, cash on hand, it can be through a form of e-wallet and whatnot. And then another module is supply chain management. So this is basically identifying how much raw materials do you need to procure, how much products do you need to build, how many or what is the schedule of the delivery of each product to the customer. So those things, there's a lot of moving parts, especially in supply chain. And then the third one naman is human resources, basically management of your employees. Pretty much the main module here or sub-module is yung payroll. So imagine if you're computing your payroll manually, part of it is timekeeping and attendance. Kasi in computation of payroll, there are bonuses, allowances, there are deductions that you need to consider. Another one is recruitment. How much do I need to hire? What is the status of the candidates? Sino na ba yung mga shortlisted? Then another module, performance management. Okay. Do we need to already evaluate this employee? What was the result of the evaluation last quarter? And what is the current performance? Do we need to what are the action plans, action items for this employee? So those things are covered in human resource ERP module. Then we have the manufacturing. I think in passing we mentioned that earlier. There are different types of manufacturing. By just in time, meaning pag umorder lang, that's the time you produce. There's production planning, meaning based on forecast, this is the number of products that I need to produce on a monthly basis. And then yung actual schedule and monitoring of the production. Yung mga sophisticated pa na ERPs that connected pa yan sa mga machines, or sa mga IoT, so that automatic na rin na nare-record from the actual machine consumption. And then we have the CRM or Customer Relationship Management. This one naman is management of leads. Kung nagbebenta tayo, depends din sa type of your industry. May tinatawag na B2B, business to business. Merong B2C, na business to consumer. Basically, mga retail, wholesale, etc. Just retail. Then, for B2B, these are, like for example, I'm offering software applications sa mga businesses. So, this is one type of B2B. Or I am selling broadband to businesses. So, I need to gather, or I'm a real estate agent, nagbebenta ako ng mga properties. Then I need a system where I manage my funnel, my leads, and then automate the process of like follow-ups, following up clients, making sure na we reach certain quota. Nandun lahat yun sa CRM. And then another type of CRM naman is customer support. If you've heard mga terms like ticketing systems, kasi may issue ako sa isang may complaints ako, for example, with your phone line, no? Sa GCash, meron akong issue. So, I'm sure some of you have experience raising a ticket dun sa GCash kasi nagkamali ako na sendan, ano. So, yung mga ganon, those are sub-modules of a typical CRM. Tinatawag na what's this? Help desk system, no? And then last here is project management. Ito naman yung mga for construction companies na meron silang mga sini-schedule na construction, resource allocation, budget tracking, timeline tracking. For example, event management. It's also a project management thing, no? And so on and so forth. So these things are also part of modules, no? Now, if I am a business, it doesn't mean that I need all of this, no? Strategically, if you want to be strategic, pwede naman na, I can start with CRM kasi yun yung pinakamabigat kong pain point. Pwede namang financial management kasi yun ang pinakamabigat kong pain point, or that's the thing that I need to prioritize, and then I just upgrade gradually, no? Or add modules gradually. So yun yung mga tinitingnan dito, no? It doesn't mean na implement mo siya. It's also not advisable, especially if you are a bigger company, na implement mo yung mga ganitong modules one shot, big shot, no? It also depends on the vendor. Some vendors can only offer certain modules that they don't offer other modules, no? Yung iba ginagawa, iba yung vendor ng project management, iba yung vendor ng manufacturing, that pinapagkabit, ini-integrate. But there are, bigger software companies na can provide everything. No, so yun yung mga mga things that we look at if we are trying to learn ERP, no? Okay, let's go straight naman dun sa, yes, I'm a business, then I decide that I want to implement ERP. Ano ba yung mga phases that dapat kong tingnan for me to be able to successfully implement? On top dun sa mga nabanggit ko kanina, what are my main pain points? Ano bang strategy? Should I implement everything at one shot, or I do it per milestone? I do it phase by phase. Parang pag-build lang yan ng building, I want to go first floor first, and then second floor, and so on. So I think the main prerequisite is a concrete business process. Meaning, that's why usually before you implement automation, you hire business analyst o tinatawag ng business process engineers, no? Yung iba accountants, kasi these people, or consultants, they are the ones who are can help you, or can help a business define a concrete business process. When I say business process, yes, there are standard business processes for a retail company. Sabihin, pag i-order, prepare ka ng invoice, and then you encode it in a ledger, and so on and so forth. But most companies, they have unique processes, no? Para lang tao yan, ano? Lahat tayo can function as a person. We can see things, we can smell things, but iba yung personality natin, iba yung DNA natin. So that's why business processes also vary kahit na pareho kayo ng industry. So paano ba natin i-concretize yung business process? So the proper way of doing it is through documentation of the current process, and then analyzing ano ba yung mga nakikita nating gaps or loopholes in the current business process. Then after that, we agree on the ideal or best practice na business process for my current structure or current business, no? And then after that would be the data. Kasi especially if you are already operating for quite a while, then of course may existing ka ng data. So ano ba yung mga data that you need? No, sino ba yung mga users? Ano ba yung mga products that you sell? what are the beginning balances, no? Especially yung mga cash in banko, tinatawag na balance sheet. I don't know if you guys are familiar na with accounting, no? There are chart of accounts na tinatawag that uh, you store records of your transactions for each account, and then you see the balances of each account. So those are very important things that you need to have before implementing an ERP. And mind you na in the real world, most companies, they don't have that accurate data. They have data, but they don't have accurate or close to accurate data. Most of them may P&L lang, for example, profit and loss, wala silang balance sheet. Doon nagkakaroon ng problema because they cannot go ahead with the ERP, or some of them, they are forcing to implement ERP kahit na wala silang concrete business process or wala silang, or kulang-kulang yung data nila. No? But I highly discourage that. Yun. So, okay, so after that, kung meron naman tayong concrete na business process, meron naman tayong malinis na data, then the actual initial phase is the planning, assessing yung needs. Yun nga, we have to strategize. Ano ba yung priority? What is the goal in the next 3 months, in the subsequent 3 months, and so on and so forth. Kasi ako, I believe may tinatawag na waterfall approach, na we define everything from start to finish. Then meron tinatawag na agile approach. That's another topic, no, that can be, you guys can look up, no. Na agile approach naman, na iterative approach naman siya, no. We focus on the priority first. In the first month, the following month we review, and then we do another plan, no? So yung discovery and planning na yan is a series of interactions with the team, with the stakeholders, with ang outcome nun is a common goal, which is implement modules of the ERP. Now, once we have defined that, the scope and all that, then the next is the design. Some ERPs is customizable. Actually, most of them are customizable. So based on the needs, the scope, and the timeline, ang next phase na doon is the actual customization of the system. It can be done through low-level coding or programming. It can be done by a high-level, customization, meaning mga drag and drop lang na customization or configuration. So once that has been done, then the development would be the actual installation. It can be installed in a physical server on site. It can also be installed, most of it actually installed na through the cloud, no? Through the cloud system, which marami na rin. Again, that's another technical thing, but I'm sure narinig niyo na yung tawag na AWS or another cloud system available in the market. Once it's been installed, we configure it. Ano ba yung kino-configure natin? Basically, the data that the company has, no? Yung mga chart of accounts, products, users, kino-configure yon. Pini-preload na siya, kumbaga, in the ERP system, and then we do trial runs, So based on the business process, we're gonna try to run the system according to the business process. Meaning, okay, we agree na pag there's an order, we have to prepare quotation, and then after the quotation, it has to be approved by supervisor A. Once supervisor A approves, then you prepare the tinatawag na pick list, sorry for the term, pick list, and then after that would be sales invoice, and so on and so forth. Those are going to be simulated while you're doing the testing. And ideally, there's a dedicated team who does the trial. Some of it they call user acceptance testing. User acceptance testing kasi is that you're trying to simulate it, and then have a checklist of things, to see kung alin doon yung mga nag-successful, ano doon yung hindi. No? Kaya siya ideal na may dedicated team for that na separate because the actual users are still busy with the current operations. No? Hindi naman natin pwedeng itigil yung operations of the business while we're implementing the ERP kasi sayang naman yung magiging sales natin doon and profit. No? So once na test na siya successfully, no, ng testing team internal, by the way, marami pa nangyayari doon sa testing. Nag-fail yung isang aspect, then inaayos ng developer or ng implementer, and so on and so forth. Doon nagkakaroon ng iteration. And there's a lot of issues na nangyayari within that phase, no, na inaayos until such time na maging ready na siya for use. And then, pag okay na, titrain na lang yung users. It's a couple of sessions specific to their role. And then they agree on a go live date, meaning, alright, starting January 2025, go live na tayo. No? Meaning, ginagamit na siya real time. This is the ERP system. Or whatever module yung napag-agrihan nila na gawing go live. And then, after that would be, yun nga, yung iba ginagawa, kung narinig nyo na yung tinatawag na parallel run, meaning they are running the system live while the old system or the manual system is also being done in parallel. Just to make sure na after a month or so is you get the same result or if not improved result. So while it's live, then there's what you call post-deployment support. Yun na yung ongoing maintenance and optimization. Optimization naman is that at times kasi yes, na-test na natin siya successfully, but when we have a lot of data, bumabagal na yung system. No? So, there are things like technical optimization or data optimization na ginagawa para, ma-solve yung issue na nag-i-slow down yung system while they are using it. So, pretty much that's the cycle. So, if you decide na to implement say one module lang, CRM, gagawin mo lahat to, and then after that would be balik ka na naman sa una for the next module na gusto mong i-implement, kunyari accounting or inventory. And again, kung maliit-liit ka, you can implement everything at once, pero again, I don't recommend doing that thing, especially kung marami ka ng users or marami ka ng data na minamanage. No? Okay, so just to give an idea, these are the key ERP players in the market. Kumbaga sa sasakyan, may mga brands din. May Toyota, may Lexus, may BMW. Sa ERP meron din. We have SAP, Oracle. These are actually, we can say pioneers, when it comes to ERP. And these are the actual expensive side ng mga ERP players in the market. We also have Microsoft Dynamics. Siyempre, Microsoft, di pa patalo yan. Then NetSuite. If I'm not mistaken, NetSuite is also owned by Oracle. No? And then we have Odoo. Odoo is like in the middle na they're saying that they're positioning themselves as parang SAP or Oracle when it comes to features that they can offer. But a lot, cheaper licenses, no? Kasi they said these guys, they sell licenses per user and plus the fees in consulting fees and implementation fees, no? Now yung mga smaller scale na ERP or probably certain modules lang talaga, hindi siya complete ERP. I'm sure narinig nyo na yung mga Salesforce, which is a CRM, meron ding QuickBooks, which is only accounting, and zero accounting naman, yung mga ganon. So those are also somehow mini ERP, for micro or small businesses naman yan. Pero as you grow, as you scale, pag enterprise level na, these are the common brands, no. Though may local din, may mga local developers tayo sa Philippines na nagde-develop ng ERP systems. Actually, one of them was my previous company that JM mentioned that I already sold. And, I just retired in selling software and implementing. I'm now more on the consulting of these things, no, or digital transformation. Okay, so probably, part of this exercise is I can give you an example, so that you can appreciate what I'm talking about. I actually have here a sample company using Odoo. This is actually an ERP system, and I'm using Odoo. So, makikita nyo dito is that there are several applications. So, point of sale, accounting, the ones that we mentioned kanina. We have project, purchasing, inventory. So, each one of these modules, may mga sub-modules or functions within that. Now, si Odoo kasi, they have other applications. If you go here, marami pa siyang ino-offer. CRM, sales, even mga collaboration tools like timesheets, recruitment for HR, yon. So, if I am the business, I just choose ano ba yung kailangan ko. So, maganda kay Odoo is, kumbaga, marami na siyang ino-offer na mga modules. Ang lagi lang naman dito talaga na tinitingnan is how robust ba yung application or yung ERP mo that kayang i-support the complexities of my business process. Okay? Because, for example, multinational companies, medyo complex na yan mga operations yan. So, probably magfo-fall yan sa mga SAP, Oracle na systems. So, but of course, kung yung mga less or smaller enterprises, probably pwede sila sa Odoo. So those things, may tinatawag na matching of features against your business process to see if this ERP system is applicable to you. Okay, so yeah, for example, you have decided na, ito na ngayon yung mga modules mo. Then, so just to give you an example, this is example of an inventory module. This is where, say, you define your products. Ito yung mga sample products that you define. Pakikita mo na rin dyan yung selling price of the product, the cost of the product, the current stock on hand, and so on and so forth. Meron tayong yung process natin, for example, is every time we receive the orders from the suppliers, then you have to encode the receipts. Dito natin pinapasok yung mga resibo kung tawagin, or mga dumating na product from your supplier. And then kung ilan yung dumating, automatic nagpo-post na yan sa accounting to update your financial statements, nagpo-post na yan sa inventory para ma-update yung stock balances. So doon nangyayari yung automation. And then part of it also is you can also print transactions, Ayan, katulad nito, you can print that will now preview a PDF. So sa PDF mo, so ito yung sinasabi nating documentation. Instead na isusulat mo siya manually, encode mo lang dyan, and then you just print it out, or send it to your customers. So that's again one example of inventory system. Imagine na meron kang phone, marami kang apps doon, all helping you to manage and navigate your business, iba-ibang mga apps, and all of these are integrated, So for example, again, nagbenta ako sa POS, nag-encode ako sa POS ng sales, then automatic that updates my accounting, updates my balance sheet, that updates my profit and loss, the reports makikita na natin dito sa sample balance sheet. Yan. Ito ngayon, wala lang tayong data now, but if you are encoding diligently and using it diligently and posting transactions on time, then makikita mo yan, the reports here updates automatically. So yung management, ito lang talaga yung tinitingnan niya. Yun. So, wait one, I'll just go back to the slides. Okay, so in terms of career, no, maybe in the future, pag nag-graduate na kayo and then uh, you decide ano ba yung career na gusto natin, maybe some of you can consider yung mga possible career sa ERP. You can be an ERP consultant, yun yung nagdi-design nung ERP and nag-i-implement, nagko-configure, nag-i-implement, nagte-train sa mga users. Ang tawag natin doon, mga ERP consultants, no? For a time, yan yung for the longest time ginagawa ko. But I only not design, but I also sell. Iba na naman yung selling. That's a salesperson. Ano? You can be an administrator, meaning naka-install na yung ERP doon sa papasukan mong company, but you just manage it and maintain it. Business analyst naman, yung sinabanggit natin kanina, the prerequisite of implementing an ERP is a business process analysis, no? And gaps analysis and recommendations. Now, if you're on the technical side, you can be also a developer, no? There are some ERP products, katulad ni Odoo, for example, meron siyang sariling coding studio. You can develop your own or customize some modules in Odoo, no? Or if you want, you can develop ERP from scratch. Okay. And then lastly here, you can be a project manager in ERP implementations. No? If there's an ERP project, you can be on the user side, which is the client or the user of the ERP. You can be on the vendor side, meaning you can be the ones hired by the businesses to implement or lead the project for them. No? So, yun yung mga possible careers natin in ERP. Okay, so just to conclude, I think even you guys will agree that ERP systems are vital, especially now with the modern business operations. No? Hindi ko nabanggit, pang e-commerce, ang dami rin yan. Imagine na, how can you integrate yung sales sa marketplace, Shopee, Lazada, TikTok, and then into one system, order management system, and then WMS, yun yung warehouse inventory system, and up down to accounting. So sobrang vital niya especially in large scale operations. Second is there's diverse career opportunities, and then before we wrap, I'm inviting you guys, if you have questions or items, concerns for further discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir Dennis. If possible po, mag-share screen po ulit si Lana.
Alright, sure.
Thank you po. Thank you, Sir Dennis, for that very enlightening talk. The sharing of your experiences and advice about ERP systems and the ERP field has provided us with valuable lessons, insights, and inspiration. We'd now like to open the floor for questions from our class in Sermano. If you have a question, please use the raise hand feature and we will call on. So guys, ask questions. Anything you're curious about with Sir Dennis's talk?
I hope I didn't bore you guys, no? Yeah. Dalawa lang yan pag walang question, either nahirapan intindihin or sobrang naintindihan.
I have a question, Sir Dennis.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned something about when you were presenting yung Odoo demo,
Yep.
there's such thing as smart matching of features with companies. I mean, in terms of selecting the right ERP. Can you expound further on that? What does matching of features mean?
Yes, good question, sir. No? So, kanina nabanggit natin, during ERP implementation, we have to first define our business process. No? And then from there kasi, we can identify what features ang kailangan natin sa isang ERP system. No? One example feature is I need a feature to support multiple branches. Kasi my business is, running retail operations and I have multiple branches. So when we source for ERP vendors and software, that's one key feature that we need to ask the vendor. Do you guys support multiple branches? No? So sasabihin ngayon ni vendor, yes, we do have that. It's readily available. Or maybe some vendors naman, we don't have that at the moment, but we can customize it. Meaning we will develop it for you. Of course, that comes with a fee. No? Maybe somebody, if you're lucky, okay, I'll develop it for free. Para lang makuha mo, para lang makabenta siya, no? Something like that. So those are experiences na you'll get pag naghanap ka ng ERP vendor. First is identify what features do you need. Kasi mahirap yan na in the middle of the implementation, that's the time pa lang na makita mo na, ay kailangan ko pala ng feature na to. No? So doon na mangyayari ngayon yung delay ng implementation because you did not anticipate that you need this feature and the software cannot support that particular process. No?
Yeah. So, just to follow up on the question,
yeah.
That matching of features happened early on the project, di ba?
Ideally, yes.
So, are these available on the websites of the software companies like SAP, Oracle, or Odoo? Can users or companies just look at the website and see what the key features are?
Yeah. Again, good question, sir. No? So, traditionally, ang ginagawa ng mga ERP or mga users or businesses who intend to use an ERP is that they list down the features and then provide it to the vendor, and then the vendor now say kung they have this feature, yes or no. Or if no, then we can customize. But yung mga modern applications like Odoo, especially yung tinatawag na self-service applications, meron silang trial run, meaning free trial for 21 days or 30 days. So that itself is kumbaga maganda siyang offer because you can immerse dun sa product or the ERP without necessarily paying right away, no? So dun mo ngayon i-check kung this software can support my requirement. Kanina example natin is multiple branch operation. Now meron din silang mga published documentations, no? Again, as a business owner, I can look up yung kanilang documentations if paano ba i-implement yung multiple branch. With the likes of Odoo, meron sila actually. You just search sa Google certain topic, then lalabas yung kanilang product knowledge base. No? So by doing that, then you can do matching naman. Manually, through research. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Say. Our group also has a few questions we would like to ask you, Sir
Sure.
Dennis. So the first question is, are there any red flags to watch out for during the process of choosing an ERP vendor?
Yeah. I think again that's a good question din, So I think nabanggit ko kanina, some ERP vendors, every time you ask if you can support this feature or can this be done in your software, especially if you're talking to the salesperson, na may type of a salesperson kasi na quote unquote hustlers kung tawagin, So they say yes, we can do that. Yes, we can. This is available in the system. And then ang tendency naman natin, minsan hindi na natin binavalidate kung talaga bang the ERP can support. So mangyayari doon is that mapapa-oo ka niya kasi supported yung yung process mo. Pero in the middle, you find out na hindi pala nasusupport ng ERP yun. So again, that will cause delay, and then if not, baka termination of the project because hindi niya kaya i-support. No? So that's one. Yun yung isang red flag. No? Kaya ideally, it's advisable na to really try the system and see all the scenarios and try to ask the vendor to demonstrate each scenario na critical to you. No? Ang isa pang, madali naman makita yung what's this credibility of a certain supplier, ERP vendor, yung kanilang tenure sa market, yung kanilang like testimonials, and most businesses also is ask for customer references. So you can ask for customer references if the vendor say na wala kaming references kasi may NDA kami. Yung mga ganon, it means na wala silang mapakitang proof of concept na tumatakbo yung software nila. No? Okay, so ngayon, kung yung software vendor can easily provide customer references that where you can call and ask the customer if what's their experience using the ERP and provided a lot of good feedback, then that's a good that's a green flag, no. Yeah.
Thank you po. To follow up with that lang po, since you're semi-retired, how would you know po if your former company has a starter pack or may bundle po ba kayo for startups? It's alright to share. Could you give us like an estimate of the pricing po kung may kapit?
Yeah. I think they don't offer that right now. Yung starter pack na yan. Though, like, I do have a course. I mean, it's a self-paced digital course. No, I call it Accounting 101 and HR 101, where I offer a free cloud accounting system. No? Kasi part of the modules in my self-paced course is actually a pre-recorded video tutorials comes with the how to use an accounting software. So, yung accounting software na yun, which is cloud, is actually called Snap Accounting. You can actually browse it now, snapaccounting.net. You can register for free. Now, if you want to learn on how to use it, then nandun na rin yung tutorial, may free tutorial doon. So for a starter package, I offer that as a community service actually for micro businesses or even students. No, I also had I have had several similar engagement with schools, no, universities, teaching ERP or accounting. Then I give that resource for free. No. And you guys can freely use that as well.
You have a question?
I have a question regarding a follow-up question for the number two. Since you mentioned legacy systems such as Excel spreadsheets, how can businesses effectively transition from these systems to an ERP one, especially that meron day-to-day sales that is ongoing?
Yeah. Okay, so first angle that we should look at is yung when you say how to transition is yung implementation strategy, which is basically what I discussed earlier, no? So first is we define the business process dun sa ano ba yung business process within that spreadsheet. Is it capturing of sales? Kung B2B ka o distribution company, gawa ka ng quotation, and then pagawa yung quotation, re-record mo yung quotation details doon sa spreadsheet, and then after that would be gawa ka ng invoice, record mo yung invoices naman na records doon sa Google spreadsheet, no? At the end of the day, yun nga, we have to define the process. And then after that would be implementation na ima-match mo na ngayon yung process na yun against the software that you intend to use, and then train the users, no? Now, yung sinabi mo kanina na just to make sure na hindi maantala yung current operation, ang strategy naman doon yung sinasabi natin na parallel run. So while you are doing the implementation, while you are testing the system, the new system, you're still using the same legacy system. Now, pag comfortable ka na dun sa new system, you think or you feel na accurate na yung reports na lumalabas dun, then you can already drop the legacy or the old system. Did I answer it? Did I answer your question or?
Alright, got it. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question our group would like to ask is, how long did it take for your success to formulate, and how did you get your customers to trust a starting venture?
Okay. So, I think we were fortunate at that time because we came across with one corporate person, dati siyang executive ng isang major top 3 auditing firm, At that time, they also started a business which is accounting services, outsourcing of accounting services. Actually, that's one of our first breakthroughs because sila yung naging main user of the ERP or the system that we develop. Kasi their business is that they're offering accounting and bookkeeping for their clients. So all their clients, they gave access to the system that we develop. So all their clients are using it. To the point na they reach up to about, say, if I'm not mistaken, in the first 10 years in the business, they reach up to 150 clients. So those 150 clients is using our system. And they are not our direct clients because they are clients of that accounting firm. So parang ang naging magandang strategy doon is nagkaroon kami ng distributor or reseller without us knocking on doors with these businesses. We just talk to one person. Alright. Actually, if hindi ko na-share kanina, but these big players in the SAP, Oracle, they actually don't implement the system themselves. They are just software developers. And then, yung mga local companies here sa Philippines, they are partnering with SAP. They are getting a license to sell and implement their SAP products or Oracle products. Si SAP ngayon, wala siyang, direct selling na ginagawa. They just talk to what we call resellers, and then those resellers, sila yung nagbebenta sa mga direct clients, So, yun yung isang strategy to get customers, kasi nga hindi mo kakausapin yung isa-isa. Then, how did you get to trust? Well, at first kasi if you're a startup, talagang you have to, offer value by giving it for free initially. And try to acquire a lot of users first. Or if not, you have to target certain number of users, and then from there, you already have the muscle to say na, we have users, actual live users of this software, and now you can already ask for a fee kasi may gumagamit na may value na talaga yung business.
Thank you po for your insightful, very, very good answers for our questions, Sir Dennis. Much thanks to the rest of the class, especially Kevin, for participating and asking Sir Dennis about things that you guys are and would like to know about. Before we close this session, on behalf of our group and the entire ERP Plan Grade 32 class, we would like to present Sir Dennis with a certificate of appreciation for sharing your valuable time and expertise with us.